In the last video, I was showing you about the trading strategy I developed over a couple of months, backtested it, had some really good results, over 77% win rate, but I couldn't trade it because I'm just not able to be in front of the screen at the time I need it, which is between 2:30 and 3:30. So I haven't been able to do any trading in the past 6 months. I'm still trying to make a new plan. I'm sort of winging it at the moment. So you'll see in a minute, I'm going to show you a few of the trades I've done. For the past couple of weeks, I have been trying to find some trades, mainly in the small cap market. It's not as calculated as the previous strategy, but I've got some criteria. It's no like written rules or anything. Mainly swing trades, but it starts off sometimes as a day trade with the potential to turn into a swing. So yeah, that's how it's going. So I'm just trying to build the account. Started with about $1,300 roughly. I have managed to almost double it. I'm up about $1,000. So I've had a couple of good trades. I'll run you through a couple of them. So the first trade was on FUTU. I got in on this day with the higher volume. They did have earnings that day and it came out pretty good. They are kind of a low float. I think they've got about 50 million shares, so it's on the higher end of low float, I suppose. Let's have a quick look at their everything on Yahoo, what they've got. Wrong ticker. So yeah, they're higher priced, $46 per share. They're at almost 7 billion market cap. The financials were pretty good. As you can see, in 21 they made 2.8 billion versus the market cap of 6.7 billion. That's only like a 2 or 3 ratio, which is PE ratio. So that's kind of not a bad time to buy, really, at that kind of PE ratio, especially for normal stocks, and they are making money, increasing revenues, as you can see, really nicely. So yeah, it's not too bad looking at that. So any smaller cap which makes money, that's kind of what I'm looking for, or at least have had a couple of decent quarters recently, and beaten down chart ideally as well, just as a little buffer zone, really. You never want to buy up here as long as the chart's beaten down, ideally to some sort of previous support resistance or trend resistance. That's not too bad. You can see it's come down. I obviously didn't buy it at a perfect price, but I saw on the day I had earnings, I had volume, saw it on a dip, and I figured for it along this would be pretty good, maybe to hold up into the 200-day moving average. So yeah, I bought it just around here, this price here. Let me zoom in a little bit. At about $44. Well, $43.93 was my initial entry, just in here, and then I held for a bit of a dip, but the next day it did come back up, and I actually held it for quite a few days. I sold it on the 21st, so my entry was on the 6th. I did hold for a little bit of a pullback, but then here on the 21st I got out at 49.48, right about here, so it wasn't too bad of a trade. Of course it continued, but I wasn't too fussed about that. I'm just trying to make a little bit of extra money, try and build the account. Hopefully I can eventually trade my initial strategy pattern, which I had tracked. That is the plan. So take as many trades as possible throughout the next couple months, try and build the account and see where we're at. But yeah, I made $76.26 on FUTU. That was quite a nice one. So on to the next was MICS. Right, this was a recent split. If I have a look at Yahoo, MICS. So $26 million market cap at the moment. As you can see, they have been making money, not a lot. The last in 22 it was 230,000. So it's pretty poor, to be fair. But I still went for it. I figured it was a good one to go for. At least they make money. There were previous split profitable quarters, 80 cents per share in the previous quarter. The float is quite low. MICS, what is the float? It is, well, under a million, 572,000 shares, which is like a mega low cap. So, you know, that was my first indicator that this could be a good one, because it's such a low float, which makes money while the company themselves make money. I had to try it if I could get a good entry. You can see they've been coming down for a while now. So I figured, yeah, I'd give this one a shot. Started coming up on this day. So I did get in on the 10th, which is the day it started to push here. So I got in at 685. Okay, I guess it was a pretty damn bad entry, but it must have been up in here somewhere. But it was on the 10th, and I exited on the 24th. So I got on this day at 685 and held it through. Again, a little bit of a pullback, but that was fine. Held it through, and I sold it on the 24th at 836, which was all the way somewhere near the top of this candle here, 836. So that was a pretty good hold, really. I was expecting a sharper, quicker move because of the extreme low float, but I guess the meat of the move happened on the entry day, really. But that's absolutely fine. I did make $115.67 on that stock. The next one is BHAT, again another split, recent split. So I actually shorted this one. You can see they're beating down chart. Okay, a recent split is not ideal for short, but the fact that they were up about 400% on the day. If we have a look at Yahoo, BHAT, 16 mil market cap, but the big thing was their financials. 21, they lost $60 million, and on the balance sheet they have 135,000 in cash. So they've either got to issue more shares, dilute the stock to raise more cash, or just go bankrupt. So I figured that was a pretty good time to go short, really, on that big spike. So this was on the 23rd. For some reason my volume bars just keep going funny on this chart. So my entry was 296. That was right in here. So I went short just below the whole dollar. I did manage to get some out at 260. So it was right at the low here. Try and zoom in a bit more. Basically right at the low of this candle. And then I did hold the rest, but it's starting to push after hours. So I got rid of the rest at 311, which is all the way up here. I made $5.32 on that stock. So nothing great. Probably, well, that's not factoring in borrow fees. So I think it was a tiny loss actually on that one after all commissions and fees. The next one was pretty amazing. That is RFP. So this one I actually bought on the 5th of June. Again, they make a lot of money. Standardized earnings $2.69 per share. And they were, at the time I bought them, $12 stock. And that was in one quarter. They made $2.69. So that was a no-brainer. Financials were great, low float, sort of, I think. RFP, were they all low float? Okay, 76 million shares, but still, they made a lot of money. Their PE ratio was stupidly low. They've been doing very well. As you can see, their chart has been going up, but they've been on a dip, so I bought them right down here. I did see something a bit strange on this day, the 24th of June. It had a lot of volume on that day. You can see here, this was the 24th. After hours, almost 5 million shares were traded, and previous to that on the daily, nothing of that sort of volume, and there was barely any move in the candle. So my guess was someone was buying the stock or something big was happening. The fact that it didn't just tank made me assume that it was probably a buyer, and especially after hours as well. So as soon as I saw this stock on the 5th, that's when I actually found it. Had a look through, saw they had really good earnings, good price to earnings ratio. So in theory, that's something a company or someone would want to buy. In my opinion, they're doing well. I'm pretty sure their revenues were increasing year on year as well. Okay, slowly. Anyway, so I bought it 12.22. So just here, right in this area, I could see the volume starting to come in. I figured I'd give it a shot, and this was going to be sort of a day trade to begin with, and then I wanted to hold it also for a longer move, see how it played out, because I my target would have been sort of back to the highs, at least anywhere in that top area, $16 range. Luckily the buyout was announced, and then I managed to sell at $20.67. So overall, I made $872. $800.72. So that's pretty sweet. Obviously, a lot of luck in there, but I did see that it had some strange volume previous a couple of days before. So yeah, I've seen another stock like that which I missed. There was a similar volume situation a couple of days before, and they announced a buyout. Maybe it's something to look for in the future. You can see the type of stocks I'm looking for. So another one was KSPN. This one's got a massive beaten down daily chart. They lose a lot of money. This was a short. I saw they'd come up massively on 45 million volume in this one day. So I was definitely looking for a short because they've basically got no cash. When you're losing that much, 8 million in the last year, and then look at the balance sheet, 1 million in cash. Yeah, not good. So I figured that'd be a good short. It's clearly overcrowded in these areas, in these high areas. You can see just crazy volume. The volume was decreasing, so I figured I'd take it a short up in here. 647 was my entry. It was pretty shocking, to be honest, just in there. But what was pretty awesome was 604 exit, so a penny above the low right here. I exited most of my shares there, and I did have to stop out at 671 on the rest of the shares because it started to come up. So just up here. So, you know, I didn't really want to be in that if it did start to break out and squeeze. It did eventually come down, but then the next day it did have a massive pop. So I'm pretty glad I didn't hold that short. But I do know, based on the other strategy I was using, that you've got to wait for the crack really, and then see a retest of the resistance level to then go short. So I've got that knowledge behind me as well to help me out. So I managed to stay out of that, which I would have more than likely just freaked out and stopped out in the highs. But, you know, I was always trying to keep my loss short. That's why I didn't want to risk it anywhere past sort of this 7 area, this 720-ish, or at worst case scenario, the highs. But I'm pretty happy with my initial exit. And I did want to hold it to come back down to the sort of 450 area, I think it was. Yeah, 450 area. Anyway, that was a bit of a scratch trade. 572 made, but all in all, I'm up, like I said, about $1,000. Most days have been green. So far so good. I am in 2 more trades at the moment. I'm going to see how they play out, and I'll make a video on them as soon as they have played out. Yeah, if you like to see more of these videos, subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to be notified when the next video is released. Hopefully a week or 2 max. I will try and make more videos more frequently. What do you think about what I've done so far anyway? I'm pretty pleased. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I can continue as I am doing. Yeah.